Today, the world sees this map and knows it as Israel. Yet, these lines are recent. They are scars on the land, drawn not in ink, but through the suffering of the Palestinian people. This state was established above a foundation of lost homes and a relentless refugee crisis, a painful truth that these clean borders cannot hide. In 1897, the World Zionist Organization was founded in Europe, aiming to promote the idea of establishing a Jewish homeland in Palestine, a movement that would later have a significant impact on the region's history. In 1917, the Balfour Declaration was issued, in which British Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour expressed his government's support for the establishment of a national homeland for Jews in Palestine. By 1946, what had begun 50 years earlier had reached its culmination. Zionist organizations had strategically acquired large areas of land, often bought from absentee landlords, and established exclusive Jewish settlements. These expanding territories gradually formed connected blocks, the foundations of the state that the United Nations would propose just a year later. In 1947, the United Nations approved a plan to divide Western Palestine into two separate states, one Jewish and one Arab. Jewish leaders accepted the proposal, while Palestinian Arab leaders rejected it, leading to widespread unrest and outbreaks of violence across the region. Between February and July of 1949, Israel and the surrounding Arab states reached an armistice agreement. As a result, Israel came to control nearly 78% of Palestine. During this time, hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were uprooted from their towns and villages, forced to leave behind their homes, land. More than 700,000 people were displaced, over 15,000 lives were lost, and more than 500 villages were erased from the map, marking what became known as the Nakba, the catastrophe. In 1967, the Six-Day War erupted. Through rapid and coordinated operations, Israel captured the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt and the Golan Heights from Syria. While it did not annex the West Bank from Jordan, Israeli forces began an occupation that reshaped Palestinian life. In the aftermath, more than 300,000 Palestinians were displaced. Many, for the second time since 1948, were displaced once again. From 1967 onward, imprisonment became a defining feature of life under occupation. Over the decades, human rights organizations have documented waves of arrests touching nearly every Palestinian family. It is estimated that more than 750,000 Palestinians have been detained since 1967, with over 10,000 still held in Israeli prisons today. In 1982, Israel completed the return of the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt. The two nations signed a peace treaty, making Egypt the first Arab country to officially recognize Israel as a state. Between 1987 and 1993, a widespread uprising known as the First Intifada began in Gaza. Civil disobedience, strikes, and demonstrations soon spread across the West Bank, marking a powerful moment of resistance under occupation. More than 1,000 Palestinians lost their lives, tens of thousands were injured, and over 120,000 were arrested or detained throughout the uprising. From 1993 to 1995, the Oslo Accords were signed between Israel and the Palestine Liberation Organization. The agreement, known as the Declaration of Principles, aimed to establish mutual recognition and a framework for limited Palestinian self-governance. As part of the Accords, the West Bank was divided into 3 zones: one under full Palestinian Authority control, one under shared administration, and one remaining under Israeli control. In the year 2000, Israel withdrew its forces from Lebanon. Later that year, the Camp David summit was held in an effort to reach a final peace agreement. However, the talks ended without success, and tensions soon escalated into the Second Intifada. From 2000 to 2005, the Second Intifada, or Al Aqsa Uprising, engulfed Gaza and the West Bank. Daily life was marked by curfews, raids, and widespread loss. By its end, more than 4,000 Palestinians had been killed, tens of thousands injured, and over 100,000 detained, leaving scars that defined a generation. In 2011, Palestine submitted an official bid to the United Nations for full statehood and membership, a symbolic yet significant step toward international recognition of its right to self-determination. In 2014, Gaza endured one of the deadliest escalations in recent memory. Massive bombardments leveled entire neighborhoods, forcing over 500,000 people from their homes. More than 2,000 Palestinians were killed, over 10,000 wounded, and nearly 520,000 displaced, leaving the Strip in ruins. In May 2021, Gaza faced another deadly escalation. For 11 days, the bombardment destroyed homes and infrastructure, displacing tens of thousands and leaving entire families buried beneath the rubble. Hundreds were killed, thousands wounded, and neighborhoods reduced to dust. Since October 2023, Gaza has witnessed one of the darkest chapters in its modern history. Entire neighborhoods have been flattened, families torn apart, and nearly the entire population displaced or trapped in dire conditions. Over 66,000 Palestinians were killed, including more than 18,000 children, and close to 2 million people forced from their homes. Women, men, and children alike now struggle for survival amid devastation on a historic scale. After seeing the full picture of history, from the first displacement to the wars that never truly ended, more questions begin to rise. What future awaits the next generation in Palestine? If you understand that answer, you might also understand why even children have become targets. In a land marked by occupation and walls, what kind of peace can truly exist? Can peace survive without resistance, without the strength and will of those who refuse to disappear? What becomes of a people stripped of the right to defend themselves? What destiny awaits them if all forms of resistance are silenced? And beyond the borders, why does the world continue to watch, saying nothing, doing nothing as history repeats itself before our eyes? The moment we see the truth, responsibility follows. Silence allows rights to fade and their struggle to be forgotten. So choose to act in any way you can. Just don't stay silent.